It started like any other calm evening, until a phone buzzed, a screen lit up, and all hell broke loose. A private moment between Chrissy Lampkin and Jim Jones, one never meant to see the light of day, just got leaked, and the internet is on fire. Fans are stunned, insiders are scrambling, and the love and hip-hop world may never be the same. In the now viral footage, Chrissy can be seen unleashing raw, unfiltered rage at Jim, calling him out in a confrontation that has left viewers speechless. Behind her words, there's betrayal. Behind his silence, there's guilt. And behind it all, a scandal that's tearing their reality TV empire to shreds. What did Jim really do? What pushed Chrissy to this boiling point? And who leaked this explosive footage? Was it an accident or a calculated move? As the video circulates and reactions pour in, whispers of cheating, loyalty tests, and broken promises are flooding timelines. If you thought this power couple was solid, think again. What's really going on behind the scenes? Buckle up, because what's coming next will shock you even more. The footage starts with a shaky phone camera angle, but the voices are unmistakably clear. Chrissy Lampkin's voice slices through the silence with a fire fans haven't heard in years. She isn't just upset, she's livid. Pacing back and forth in what appears to be a private dressing room, she throws her arms up in disbelief, yelling, "I gave you everything, and this is how you repay me?" Jim Jones, seated on a worn-out leather couch, stares at the ground, not saying a word. His body language says it all. Guilt, regret, or maybe just exhaustion. Either way, the tension is so thick it could suffocate anyone watching. And millions are watching. The video has spread like wildfire across social media platforms, with hashtags exploding within hours. Fans are divided, shocked, and glued to their screens, replaying every second to catch clues that might explain how this intimate argument ended up in public view. What makes this so explosive isn't just the yelling or the tears. It's what Chrissy accuses Jim of. In one gut-wrenching moment, she says, "I found out from somebody else, not you. You couldn't even come to me like a man." That line alone has triggered a storm of speculation. Rumors swirl about cheating, betrayal, and even money mismanagement. People want answers, and they want them now. The reactions have been swift. Social media lit up with fans calling out Jim for being emotionally distant, while others pointed out Chrissy's years of loyalty and support. One comment read, "Chrissy held him down when nobody else would. If she's snapping like this, something serious had to go down." Another said, "Jim always acts calm, but that silence speaks volumes. What's he hiding?" Inside sources, allegedly close to the couple, began leaking even more context. One insider claimed that the fight was triggered after Chrissy discovered direct messages between Jim and another woman, someone who isn't part of the show but allegedly has connections to the music industry. The messages, according to the E! source, weren't outright romantic, but they were just flirty enough to cross boundaries. Chrissy saw the messages, and she felt humiliated, the insider said. She's been ride or die for years. This felt like a betrayal on top of betrayal. The most intense moment of the leaked video comes when Chrissy throws her phone down and points directly at Jim. "You made me look stupid on national TV before," she says, her voice trembling with emotion. "But this time, I won't let you get away with it." Those words sent shockwaves through the love and hip-hop fandom. The couple has always had a complicated dynamic, filled with public proposals, delayed weddings, business ventures, and emotional roller coasters. They were the couple that fans rooted for, argued about, and followed religiously. But this latest outburst feels different. It doesn't feel like TV drama. It feels like something truly fractured. As the video continues, Jim finally speaks. His voice is low, almost inaudible, but his words are enough to set Chrissy off even more. "I didn't want to hurt you," he mutters. Chrissy laughs bitterly. "But you did anyway. You always do, and I always stay." Those words broke hearts. Fans flooded the comments with support for Chrissy, many calling her the realest woman in the franchise. Some started the hashtag #ProtectChrissy, while others demanded answers from Jim, tagging him in every post. And while Chrissy's voice echoed in support across the internet, Jim's silence became even louder. What makes the situation even more complicated is the timing. Just days before the video leaked, the couple was seen smiling at a public event, hand in hand, posing for pictures like everything was perfect. Insiders now claim that event was purely for appearances. and the tension had been building behind closed doors for weeks. They weren't talking backstage, one attendee said. They looked like strangers once the cameras were off. Back in the dressing room, the video captures Chrissy sitting down, her energy drained, her eyes red. "I just wanted peace," she says, almost whispering. "After all these years, that's all I ever asked for." Fans latched onto that line, using it in quote tweets, reaction videos, and even emotional TikToks. It symbolized something deeper: the exhaustion of a woman who had been strong for too long. And for many, it resonated on a personal level. As the scene fades out, there's a knock at the door. Someone on the other side says, "They're asking for you two on set." Chrissy doesn't move. Jim stands up but doesn't say a word. It's unclear whether they went out together or not. The video ends abruptly, but the internet didn't. Speculation hit an all-time high. People wanted to know who recorded it, who leaked it, and why now. Some believed it was a betrayal from within their own camp, maybe a crew member, maybe even a friend. Others suspected a setup by producers looking to reignite ratings. After all, drama sells. But this level of raw pain, it felt too real to be staged. And that's where part 1 ends, with questions swirling, fans demanding more, and a couple standing on the edge of collapse. What happens next? Who leaked the footage? And will Jim finally come clean about what really happened behind the scenes? Keep watching, because what's coming in part 2 will blow the lid off everything you thought you knew about Chrissy and Jim. And trust me, it's only getting started. The next morning, after the leaked video went viral, a new wave of chaos exploded. Chrissy was nowhere to be found. Not on Instagram, not on Twitter, not even a cryptic story. Her silence screamed louder than any statement. Meanwhile, Jim Jones posted a single black square with no caption. And that's when fans knew this wasn't just drama. This was war. Paparazzi swarmed their usual spots in New York and Miami, desperate to catch a glimpse or reaction. But neither of them showed up. Then, out of nowhere, a mysterious audio clip started circulating online. It was allegedly from a private group chat among some Love and Hip Hop cast members, and in it, one female voice, believed to be Yandy Smith, said something that sent the internet into a frenzy. "I told her this was gonna happen. Jim's been hiding stuff for years." That clip alone opened a whole new chapter in the drama. Was Yandy talking about infidelity, about money, or something even deeper? Fans started digging. Reddit threads popped up overnight, dissecting old episodes, interviews, even background footage from events. People started noticing strange things. Times when Chrissy looked irritated on camera, moments when Jim seemed emotionally checked out, even awkward exchanges during couple interviews. And then it hit even harder. An anonymous source came forward on a gossip blog, claiming that Jim had secretly been in contact with a woman from his past. The blog posted blurred screenshots of alleged texts that showed affectionate language, travel plans, and even what looked like hotel bookings. While the identity of the woman wasn't revealed, fans had theories and receipts. Some claimed it was a woman Jim had previously denied being close to during a reunion taping years ago. The betrayal cut deep, not just for Chrissy, but for fans, who had invested over a decade into this couple's journey. Some remembered Chrissy fighting for Jim to propose. Others recalled how she stood by him when everyone else questioned his loyalty. And now, while all this unfolded, Chrissy was finally spotted. She had flown to Los Angeles, reportedly staying with a close friend and former cast member. Paparazzi caught her arriving at LAX, sunglasses on, head down, and not saying a word. But the image alone, her walking away from New York, was enough to break the internet. On Love and Hip Hop's official page, things got even messier. The network released a teaser for the upcoming episode that showed Chrissy storming out of a scene and yelling off camera, "I'm done protecting him!" Fans were stunned. Was this a hint that she had known more than she ever let on? And if so, what else had she kept hidden? Comments poured in. Chrissy's silence was loyalty. Jim's silence was guilt. Another read, "You could see it all over her face these past few seasons. She was tired of holding him down with no return. Then came another bombshell. A behind-the-scenes producer anonymously leaked that there was even more unreleased footage from that explosive argument, footage that involved another cast member stepping in and attempting to mediate. Fans immediately guessed it was Mama Jones, Jim's outspoken mother. The thought of her being involved took the drama to a whole new level. True to character, Mama Jones didn't stay silent for long. In a now-deleted Facebook Live, she vaguely addressed the iced situation, saying, "I always knew there were things going on behind closed doors, but I kept my mouth shut for the sake of peace. Now I see peace was never real to begin with." The post was deleted within an hour, but not before fans screen recorded and shared it across platforms. And just when it seemed like things couldn't spiral further, Chrissy broke her silence with a single story post. It was a black background with white text that read, "When you give everything and still get lied to, walking away becomes power, not weakness." The internet exploded again. The post was shared on blogs, quoted in YouTube think pieces, and turned into viral TikTok edits. Influencers weighed in, relationship experts did breakdowns, and even other reality stars voiced their support. Meanwhile, Jim remained radio silent. No stories, no posts, no responses. According to one insider, Jim had been devastated by the leak and was trying to do damage control behind the scenes. He allegedly reached out to Chrissy multiple times, but she wasn't replying. Instead, she had started meeting with legal advisors, not for divorce, but for media rights. "She wants to control the narrative now," said the insider. "She's tired of being painted as just the angry girlfriend. She wants her truth out there." The idea of Chrissy releasing her own tell-all episode, podcast, or even docuseries started trending. Fans said they'd tune in immediately. One tweet read, "Chrissy deserves her lemonade era. Let her tell her side and burn everything down if she needs to." Things got more intense when a second leaked audio surfaced, this time a voicemail. Jim allegedly left for Chrissy late at night. The voice sounded tired, emotional, and almost desperate. "I messed up," he said. "I didn't want to hurt you. You always been my peace, and I took that for granted." Fans didn't know how to feel. Some said it sounded sincere, others believed it was too little, too late. "You can't treat someone like a placeholder for years and then cry when they walk away," wrote one Instagram user. In the middle of this emotional firestorm, Love and hip-hop producers hinted at releasing an extended version of the leaked argument in the next episode, teasing the full truth hasn't been seen yet. It was clear they were leaning into the drama for ratings. But at what cost? The pressure on Jim continued to grow. Bloggers started digging into his business affairs. One podcast claimed there were discrepancies in recent real estate deals he and Chrissy were involved in. Fans wondered, was this fight just about betrayal in love? Or was money involved too? By now, every post by Chrissy or Jim, or even those remotely connected to them, was flooded with comments. People chose sides, drew battle lines, and projected their own past heartbreaks into the narrative. Chrissy, once seen as confrontational, was now hailed as resilient. Jim, once cool and reserved, was now under fire for being emotionally unavailable and evasive. And yet, despite all the noise, the biggest questions remained unanswered. Who recorded that footage? Who leaked it? Was it a friend turned enemy? Or someone from production playing both sides? Theories ranged from sabotage to a publicity stunt gone wrong. But what no one could deny was the raw emotion that had been captured. Chrissy's pain wasn't scripted, Jim's silence wasn't staged, and fans felt it in their bones as the chaos reached a boiling point. The only thing more intense than the scandal was the anticipation of what would happen next. Would Chrissy return to confront Jim publicly? Would he finally speak out? Or had this video marked the end of their legendary love and hip-hop journey forever? The answers, if they came, were going to change everything. But one thing was already clear. This scandal wasn't just another episode, it was a turning point. And the next chapter? Well, it was about to be even more explosive. Just as the internet reached its boiling point, Chrissy shocked everyone again. Without warning, she appeared live on a mutual friend's Instagram, someone fans recognized from earlier seasons. The moment. The screen lit up and her face appeared. Comments flooded in like a tidal wave. People begged her to speak, to tell her side, to confirm if the rumors were true. For a few seconds, Chrissy just stared at the screen, expression blank, her eyes heavy. And then she said quietly, "You think this is the first time I've been hurt?" The room went silent. Her voice wasn't loud, but the pain behind it echoed louder than any scream. She didn't say Jim's name directly, but everyone knew. She spoke in pieces, not full stories, little fragments of nights spent alone, calls that went unanswered, smiles that faded behind cameras. "I've been protecting his image while losing mine," she said, eyes starting to well up. And for what? Loyalty isn't loyalty if you're the only one showing up. Fans were stunned. This wasn't Chrissy the firecracker. This was Chrissy, the woman worn down by years of keeping quiet and playing strong. She ended the live with a single line that sent chills. "Sometimes silence is the last gift you give before you walk away." The clip went viral instantly. Within minutes, it was reposted on every blog, YouTube drama channel, and fan page. People applauded her vulnerability, her strength, her raw honesty. But others wondered, was this it? Was this her farewell? Meanwhile, Jim was still hiding. Fans started getting angry, not just at him, but at his refusal to acknowledge what was happening. Memes flooded in. Comparisons were drawn between Jim and other reality TV men who fumbled their day one women. Even other celebrities began chiming in, some subtly siding with Chrissy through cryptic tweets about betrayal and strength. But the most unexpected response came from someone nobody saw coming: Kimbella. Yes, that Kimbella. She went live from a dimly lit room, sipping tea and throwing shade with every word. "Let's not act like this is new," she said without naming names. "Some people been covering for their men for years. Now y'all, surprised?" Fans immediately took this as a jab at Chrissy, and the old beef between them suddenly reignited. Comments blew up. People begged Chrissy to respond. Blogs posted side-by-sides of their fights, their interviews, their public feuds. It felt like Love and Hip Hop's history was unraveling in real time. And the drama didn't stop there. Leaked footage from an upcoming reunion special was now making rounds on private fan pages. Someone from production had apparently recorded a scene where Chrissy confronted the producers themselves. In the clip, she's heard saying, "Y'all want ratings? Keep using my pain then." Her voice trembled with rage and exhaustion. "But don't expect me to play the fool anymore." The producer tried to calm her down, but she walked off set, mic still hot. She muttered something about contracts and telling her story elsewhere, hinting again at a possible solo project. Whispers of a documentary gained steam. Fans even started a hashtag, or Chrissy Story Untold, demanding streaming platforms give her a space to speak freely. As if that wasn't enough, Jim's mother, Mama Jones, went live again. This time, she was furious. "Don't come for me," or "My son," she snapped. "Family business ain't for everybody to watch." But her tone gave it away. She wasn't just defending Jim, she was defending herself. And fans noticed. Was she trying to clean up the mess before more secrets spilled? At the same time, other cast members started choosing sides. Yandy posted a quote about women who choose peace over proving points. Emily B commented under Chrissy's last post with 3 heart emojis. Even Safari, out of nowhere, tweeted, "Black love ain't just hashtags, it's work, respect, her." But the biggest twist came from a second leak, this time surveillance footage from a restaurant in New Jersey. It allegedly showed Jim Jones dining with the same woman fans had speculated about from the texts. While no faces were clearly visible, the body language spoke volumes. The woman leaned in. Jim laughed. And at one point, he reached across the table and touched her hand. The footage ignited a firestorm. Some still gave Jim the benefit of the doubt. "It could be a cousin," someone argued, but most weren't buying it. "Cousins don't lean in like that," one fan replied. The timeline suddenly made sense to everyone. The texts, the silence, Chrissy's pain. It was all aligning now, yet Chrissy didn't engage. Instead, she posted a picture of a journal with the caption, "Pen game strong, healing louder than revenge." Fans speculated this was her way of saying she was writing something, perhaps a memoir or a docuseries script, whatever it was. They were ready. Jim, under pressure, finally broke his silence. Not in words, but with a cryptic photo of him as a child, sitting alone on a stoop. No caption, just a single teardrop emoji in the comments. The post sparked even more division. Some fans empathized, saying he was clearly hurting. Others called it manipulative, a distraction from the real issue, his treatment of Chrissy. And then, just as things started settling into a quiet storm, another twist hit. An ex-assistant of Jim's went on a podcast and spilled everything. According to her, the relationship had been on life support for years. "They love each other, sure," she said, "but love don't fix betrayal. Chrissy stayed for the dream they built, not the man he became." She also hinted that the original video leak didn't come from a castmate, but from someone inside Jim's circle, someone who felt Chrissy deserved to know the truth, even if it meant blowing everything up. The host of the podcast tried to dig deeper, asking if the mystery woman had been around before. The assistant paused, then said, "Let's just say Chrissy's not the only one who's been loyal for a decade." Boom. Fans lost it, hashtags exploded, blogs reposted every second of the interview. And yet again, Jim Jones's silence rang louder than any denial. Through all this, Chrissy remained focused. She didn't throw shade, she didn't name names, but what she did do was reclaim her voice. In her next live, she didn't cry. She didn't vent. She simply said, "This ain't a breakup, this is a breakthrough." And with that, part 3 of the saga came to a close, setting the stage for one of the most emotional confrontations in love and hip-hop history. Chrissy's words, "This ain't a breakup, this is a breakthrough," echoed like a thunderclap across social media. Blogs dissected it. Fans quoted it. Influencers posted videos praising her strength. And yet, behind that strength, everyone could still feel the storm brewing, because breakthroughs don't come easy. And in Chrissy's case, they came at a cost. The very next morning, TMZ dropped another bombshell. This time, legal documents. Apparently, Chrissy had filed a motion to remove her name from a shared property deed in Atlanta. Fans connected. The dots instantly. She was cutting ties, not just emotionally, but financially. And the message couldn't have been clearer. Chrissy wasn't playing anymore. At the same time, Love and hip-hop producers scrambled behind the scenes. What had started as a typical mid-season twist had exploded into a full-blown public scandal. Ratings were climbing, but so was the tension. Insiders revealed that Chrissy was now demanding full editorial control over how her footage would be used moving forward. She was done letting someone else edit her story. Jim Jones, meanwhile, went quiet again. No posts, no lives, just silence. Some fans thought he was finally reflecting. Others weren't so sure. Rumors began circulating that he was considering leaving the show altogether. He never wanted the cameras back in his life anyway, one source claimed. But most people weren't buying the retreat. They saw it for what it looked like: avoidance. While he disappeared, Chrissy stepped into the light. She did an exclusive interview with a popular Black culture podcast, dressed in all white, face bare, eyes piercing. She didn't hold back. "I've been patient, too patient," she said calmly. "I stayed when I should have left. I believed in a version of him that didn't believe in me anymore." The host, visibly moved, asked what finally broke her. Chrissy took a deep breath. "The lies. Not even the cheating. The lies," she said. "Lying makes you question your own reality. And when you can't trust what's real, you lose yourself." Listeners were stunned. This wasn't just tea. This was therapy. Chrissy was opening old wounds with the precision of a scalpel. But she wasn't just talking about Jim. She was talking about herself, about the years she gave up, the moments she silenced her own needs. "They always told me I was too loud, too strong, but the truth is, I was just too loyal." Fans flooded the comments with support. Women especially felt seen, heard. Chrissy's story wasn't just entertainment, it was a mirror, and that made it powerful. But just as she began rising from the ashes, Jim's camp fought back. An anonymous source leaked voice notes, allegedly from Chrissy, from months ago. In them, she's heard begging Jim to come home. Her voice, trembling, her tone vulnerable. "I don't care about the cameras, Jim. I care about you," she says in one clip. The leak was clearly meant to embarrass her, to paint her as desperate, but it backfired. Fans rallied behind her even harder. "So she begged for love. That's not weak, that's human," one comment read. Even celebrities came to her defense. Tamar Braxton tweeted, "Chrissy held him down for decades. Don't shame her for wanting her man." And just when the fire seemed like it couldn't burn hotter, a shocking twist flipped the whole story upside down. The woman Jim was allegedly seen with in the restaurant, she came forward. In a bombshell Instagram live, she confirmed the rumors. "I'm not proud," she began, tears in her voice. But yes, it happened. And it wasn't just once. She claimed their affair lasted over a year, that Jim would tell her things like, "Chrissy doesn't understand me anymore," and that he was tired of pretending in front of cameras. The internet exploded. Fans demanded answers. Chrissy stayed silent, not out of defeat, but out of dignity. because by now, she didn't need to speak. Her silence spoke volumes. But one person who did speak was Mama Jones. Again, in yet another live, more unfiltered than ever, she went off. "This girl ain't no victim," she snapped, referring to Chrissy. "She's good at playing sweet for y'all, but I know the real her." Her rant lasted 12 minutes. She accused Chrissy of manipulating the narrative, claiming she'd always wanted to be the main character in Jim's life and on the show, but fans weren't having it. Mama Jones's comments were flooded with backlash. People called her out for enabling Jim, for deflecting, for always blaming the women instead of holding her son accountable. Even some of her own followers turned on her. And that's when the biggest twist of all hit, leaked reunion footage. Rough cut of the upcoming Love and Hip Hop reunion surfaced, and in it, Chrissy and Jim finally came face to face. The energy was ice cold. Chrissy sat back, arms folded, legs crossed. Jim looked tense, barely making eye contact. The host tried to ease them in, but within minutes, Chrissy exploded. "You don't get to gaslight me anymore, Jim," she said, voice steady. "You don't get to paint me as angry when you're the one who broke every promise." Jim tried to interrupt, but she raised her hand. "I waited for you to grow, to evolve. But all you did was become better at hiding things." The room went silent. Even the host looked stunned. Jim finally spoke, but not with an apology. Instead, he said, "You wanted perfect. I gave you real." Chrissy laughed, bitterly. "You gave me broken, and then blamed me for bleeding." The scene was raw, painful, unforgettable, and it ended with Chrissy walking off stage, heels clicking like gunshots. She didn't cry, she didn't beg, she just walked. And the moment that clip hit the blogs, fans knew this wasn't just a breakup. This was a revolution. Chrissy wasn't just leaving Jim, she was leaving the cycle, the shame, the silence. And Jim, he was left sitting there alone, looking smaller than ever. The comments were brutal. He fumbled a queen. "You don't realize what you have until it's gone." Chrissy deserves peace, not pain. The entire Love and Hip Hop universe was now centered around this fallout. The next episodes were being hyped as the most explosive yet. Viewers were counting down the days. And Chrissy, she posted one final message that night, a photo of herself walking along a beach at sunset. No filters, no glam, just peace. Captioned simply, "Some storms come to clear your path." And with that, part 4 of this emotional roller coaster came to an end, paving the way for a finale no one was ready for. After Chrissy's sunset photo hit the internet, something shifted. Not just for her followers, but in the entire tone of the Love and Hip Hop franchise. Fans weren't just watching a bias breakup, they were watching a woman reclaim her story. And that energy rippled far beyond one show or one relationship. Networks rushed to capitalize. Headlines like Chrissy's revenge era and the rise of the unbothered queen dominated entertainment blogs. Even brands took notice. A popular skincare line reposted her beach photo with the caption, "This is what healing looks like." Chrissy hadn't just walked away from Jim, she walked into a spotlight that was fully hers. But behind all the noise, a deeper drama unfolded. A former crew member leaked private behind-the-scenes footage, and in it, we see a moment no one expected. Jim Jones in a dark trailer, slumped in a chair, holding his face in his hands. He's not mic'd up, he's not performing, he's just broken. "I lost her," he says quietly to a producer. "I pushed her away." The producer stays silent. "She waited too long," Jim mutters, "and I kept thinking she'd always wait." Fans who saw the clip were torn. Some finally felt a crack in Jim's armor, a sign he really did care, even if it was too late. Others called it damage control. "Don't cry now," one fan wrote. "She begged you, you ignored her." But the leak had another effect. It reignited Chrissy's pain. She reposted the footage with no comment, just a black heart emoji. Then she vanished again. No lives, no tweets, just silence until the reunion aired. This time, unedited. The producers didn't hold back. They showed everything. The walk-off, the confrontation, and one final moment, a raw backstage clip of Chrissy crying, not because she still loved Jim, but because she finally let herself admit how much she had lost in the process of loving him. "I don't even know who I was anymore," she says into her hands. "I gave him everything." And that moment hit fans hard, because behind every strong woman is a history no one saw. Chrissy wasn't just snapping, she was surviving. The reunion ended with Jim sitting in silence, watching the playback on a monitor. And when the credits rolled, there was no music, just silence. And that silence said everything. But life didn't. Pause. Within days, Chrissy was spotted filming a new pilot, a lifestyle series focused on healing, friendships, and starting over. Sources say it's backed by a major streaming platform. And she's not just the star, she's the executive, producer. Meanwhile, Jim's world kept unraveling. His music took a hit. Fans started boycotting his projects, calling him out for how he treated Chrissy. Even sponsors pulled back. The man who once dominated the streets and the screen now found himself canceled by the same community he once represented. But the biggest hit? His mother, Mama Jones, went on yet another unhinged rant, this time blaming Jim. "You let her go," she screamed in a Facebook Live. "You think I raised you for this? You better fix it." And that moment, hearing his mother finally say what fans had screamed for weeks, was a slap of reality. Still, it came too late. Chrissy had moved on, not to another man, but to herself. She started a foundation for women who feel lost in long-term relationships. Her first fundraiser event sold out in hours. The message was clear. She wasn't just surviving, she was rebuilding, and fans were right there with her. Viral tweets, videos, even remixes of her reunion lines flooded the internet. She had become a symbol of standing up, of walking away, with dignity, of saying no more after years of maybe he'll change. But just as peace settled in, one final twist shook everything. A mystery voicemail leaked online, posted anonymously, allegedly between Jim and a friend. In it, Jim says something chilling. "I ain't done yet. I'm gonna make her remember who the real me is." The tone was angry, calculated. Fans went wild with speculation. Was it recent? Was it old? Was he threatening to win her back? Or take her down? Chrissy didn't comment, but she did post something later that day. A photo of her sitting in a sleek black chair, makeup flawless, eyes cold. Captioned, "I remember who you are. That's why I left." And that was it. The full circle. Chrissy had been lied to, gaslit, abandoned, and disrespected. But she didn't break. She burned and rose from her own ashes. And Jim, he became the man fans warned him he'd become. The one who loses a good woman because he was too distracted trying to look like a good man. The story is far from over. But one thing is clear. Chrissy didn't just walk away from love and hip-hop. She walked into legacy. And now fans are watching not for drama, but for growth. They're watching to see how a woman rises when no one expected her to. They're watching to see what real power looks like after pain. And Chrissy, she's not looking back. And now, after everything that's unfolded, the betrayal, the breakdown, the backstage truth, and Chrissy's ultimate rise, we've got to ask, where do we go from here? Because this wasn't just reality TV. This wasn't just a love and hip-hop episode. This was a mirror, showing us what it really looks like when love gets lost in ego, when loyalty goes unrewarded, and when the cameras finally capture what's been hiding for years. Chrissy didn't just expose a relationship. She exposed a cycle, one so many women stay trapped in. But she broke free, and the way she did it, with grace, fire, and no apologies. So now it's your turn. Drop a comment right now and tell us, were you shocked by that reunion footage? Do you think Jim really regrets losing Chrissy? Or is this just another performance? And what about that leaked voicemail? Was that a warning or a desperate last attempt to control the narrative? We want to hear what you think. And if you've ever been in Chrissy's shoes, loving someone who didn't know how to love you back, this is your moment to speak up. You're not alone. Your voice matters here. So like this video if you felt even one part of Chrissy's pain. Share it if you know someone who needs to hear her story. And make sure to hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started. This is more than gossip. This is a movement. You've been watching the real story behind Chrissy and Jim's collapse. And trust us, the next chapter is already being written. See you in the comments.